Hey, John. John.
What?
Let's shoot the van video today.
What?
The light's perfect. Nobody's here. Let's do it.
10 minutes.
No, let's do it now.
All right, let's do the van video.
Maybe on a beach in Naxos, Greece, we decided that we needed a paradigm shift in our lives. Instead of working 40 weeks a year to do the things that we love for 4 weeks, we wanted a lifestyle that allowed us to do the things we love all year round. From that conversation, DwnShifters was born, and a year later, we moved into a 2019 Ford Transit that we converted ourselves.
We're changing to a lower gear, squeezing into a custom-built van, and exploring the country. Learn with us and come along for the ride. The van was designed using a 3D modeling software, so many iterations were considered when thinking about the layout of our van. What was most critical to us was how to eliminate having our bed out all of the time in a really small space. So going through different iterations, looking at folding beds, lifting beds, what we ultimately decided on was the Murphy bed. The general ethos for the project was that everything needed to do at least two things in the build. It's a very small space, and we wanted to consider the quality of our time in the van as an essential part of the experience that we were going to have traveling the country. So things that do two things, the cab is also storage. So we have things in the cab that we're storing. We also added the attic, which is dead space in the cab. All of our seats are storage, so we're able to hide our water tanks, and we also have a lot of gear that we keep in them. The living room is the office. The living room is also the bedroom. The bathroom is not only a bathroom, it's also our hallway. And then we have the garage, which we didn't feel like was necessary to edit because we had the extra space in the back. So for us, doing this layout made the most sense because we enjoy the time that we spend in this living room. A lot of the builds that we saw have very small seats that are basically these compromises because the bed is taking up so much space. For us though, the quality of our living room, our workspace, and our bedroom, we didn't have to cut any corners, and we were able to get a really quality space, somewhere that we like to hang out almost as much as we like to be outside.
So in the cab of our van, we also have a few changes we made. One is that we added a protective layer to our floors. We track in mud, dirt, sand, all sorts of things, and this just protects our original flooring. Is super easy to sweep out or wipe out, and we're really, really happy with it. Then if you move right under to the central console, we added outlets with USB. That's connected to our 150 inverter, which was part of our original van, and keeps us powered up as we're driving along. And then if we move up, this is actually a false ceiling. So we took advantage of the high roof of the cab and created a false ceiling that is doubles as the base of our attic and creates a lot of additional storage for all of our gear. And attached to that false ceiling is resting on a bulkhead that separates the cab and the cabin. Gives us a lot of privacy, and then we also have the ability to move between the spaces through this sliding door. The passenger seat in our cab can swivel to expand our seating options. All right, so right here at the threshold, we have 2 drawers. The top drawer is our propane cook stove. We can use this for any cooking when we don't want to use electric or cook on an open fire. Got all our grill tools here, propane, all fits right here in the drawer. And then beneath that are shoes. We end up tracking a lot of dirt in and out of the van, so the opportunity to switch shoes right here before coming in or before leaving the van is super convenient, and it keeps all of our dirt and shoes together in one place. So now I'm in our living room, which is also our office. Right here we have a bench, but it's also a storage space. And so this is what we call our laundry room. Keep our dirty laundry in there and all the detergents and accessories for laundry day. And then all of this is also storage space. Right here in the front, we have our dog's crate slash his room, which he loves. It's a great place to crate him if we're in some place that we don't want him to get out of the van. It's also a safe space when there are thunderstorms. He loves it. And then all under these benches, we have what we call our long-term and short-term storage. This one's a little trickier to access, so we call that long-term. We have things like our hose or our water filters or items that we need less frequently. And in this space, we tend to keep more shorter term storage needs that we want to access more. And they're really huge. Like, look at all of this space inside. So we can really fit a lot in there. They're incredibly deep and really convenient to get to. And then right along this bench is where the drawers that house our shoes and our propane cook stove are located inside of that bench. Additional storage we have in the living room space is right here above the sliding door. We've got a whole shelf there. And then we also have this incredibly deep attic. It goes above the cab of the van. And it's just incredibly deep back there. We use it for all sorts of long, odd, bulky items. And so it's a really helpful space to keep us organized. All right, along the driver's side, we also have storage up here. We have space to keep all of our gear. Here's space for John's clothes. And then this is the space where my clothes are stored. They're incredibly deep, which is really nice because you can have the current season's clothes up front, the next season's clothes in the back. We also have boxes to organize smaller clothing objects. But yeah, there's so much space in here. This is our wardrobe. Inside we have our hanging clothes, our warm and other weather jackets. We also have our collapsible ladder stored right here. And then in the back we have a box for our hats and gloves. And then here on the door is our mirror. We brought this monitor actually from our Sticks and Bricks apartment. We find it super useful for TV watching, entertainment, but it's also an extra monitor when we're working on our laptops. Right here we have a HDMI plug-in that connects to the monitor, and so we can just plug our laptops right in and have a second screen here. It's protected by a custom frame, supported by some speakers for hearing the sound from any entertainment we're watching. And then it's also on an articulating arm, which means we can turn it towards the kitchen or towards the living room slash workspace. And then when we're done using it, it locks back in place so it's secure when we drive off. And now we're going to see how our bed works. So at night we put this screen over the window. It attaches with magnets and keeps out light, but also is great for temperature control. And then our cushions move over to the side. They kind of fit in that pocket where the sliding door is pretty nicely, actually. And then our table, as you can see, moves down, so we can raise it or lower it. And now it's flush with the storage benches. It's covered with a resin epoxy, and we like to protect that, so we usually put a towel over it. And then the wall that was behind us on our driver's side benches is where the bed comes and folds out from. Inside is the taco, which is our mattress, pillows, and blanket. Notice the mattress is already dressed, ready to go. And then with a little mattress wrestling, John opens up the gooey feeling of pillows and blankets. And before you know it, you're in bed. Welcome to our kitchen. Here in the kitchen we have a lot of storage beneath our counter space. We have places for our induction stove, our Instant Pot, our cleaning products, our coffee, and then we also have all of this surface area above on which to work. So we have plenty of place to use any of those items here, to cut, to chop. And part of that is because our sink closes over. So we have this leaf that closes down over the sink, and our faucet can come in and out as we need the sink or need it to be a counter space. And then when we need even more space, we also have this additional leaf here that raises up and extends our countertop even further. Our sharp knives and utensils hang out over here. And then up above the counter space, we have a whole pantry, a really spacious pantry. So spaces for our dishes, spaces for our fresh and dry goods, more food space. And then right over here, we have our custom space built for our travel berkey that purifies and filters all of our water. It's snugly in there, so it's not going to go anywhere. And then we can access the water right here when we need it. An essential part of our kitchen is our upright 12-volt refrigerator. It is small, but we have bins, shelves, door compartments, and we also have a tiny freezer up in the top. So we're able to get most of what we need on a regular basis inside of a refrigerator. In our bathroom, we have a very important shower. We can use it indoor, we can use it outdoor. And then we have right here, conveniently, our shampoos and soaps. This is our shower curtain that's on a flexible rod that goes all the way around the shower so that water isn't going into the cabin or anywhere else that it's not supposed to be. And then moving down, we have our composting toilet right here in the shower with us. And below that, what I'm standing on is actually a shower pan. So it directs the water directly into this drain. And then around the edges, we have a protective plastic barrier just to prevent any water from moving outside on the floor. Let's take a look at our garage. One of the biggest things that you can see stored here are our bikes. We hang them inside of our van. And then down here on the floor, we have our two batteries that are connected to our solar panels and help keep us powered. Right here in the back corner is our hot water heater. And then snug against the wall, we have our electrical cabinet. And last, but definitely not least, up at the top, we have our router for our Wi-Fi. Living in a van means we have a much smaller home, but we have a much larger backyard. And that backyard changes when we move and travel across the country, and we never have to mow the lawn.
That's so true. One thing that we do have to put up though is our tarp if we want to enjoy shade or weather protection outside. So we have this off-the-shelf system that includes a sunshade and tent poles, and we use guy lines as well as staking into the ground. So we have a couple of configurations that we use depending on the weather. So considering what you put on the roof is going to be critical to the quality of your experience while you're on the road.
The roof of a van is a space that we rarely see, and yet it holds so many systems that are essential to everyday living.
Absolutely. So our 600 watts of solar panels are on the roof. Our climate system, which includes our skylight and a ventilation fan, is there. And we also have a cell booster and a Wi-Fi antenna for our communications.
And then for lighting up dark parking spaces or dark roads, we have LED bars over the front of the van and the passenger door.
Hey guys, thanks so much for taking a tour of our home today. We have tons more content on our website at DwnShifters.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
We're off to a bikini shoot.
Hey, I'm John.
People are going to be like, oh, it's another cheesy ass van video. Just here it comes, this is the best part. Ooh. I'm gonna have a hard time saying my hi, I'm John.